Namaste everyone, welcome. Today we have a collective retrograde for the asteroid Chiron. Chiron is known as the wounded healer, and once you have an awareness of your Chiron wound, you're able to activate the guru within. So that's something that is always very dear to me, as far as turning your own scars into stars, turning your pain into something greater. Hi, Kathy. Hi, good morning, everyone. So we're going to talk about the Chiron wound. This is something that I've offered as a promotional reading. The readings have been just so transformative, just for myself, for everyone involved. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing to know. Knowing where it is in your chart. And some of you know that I like to support you with sound. So I have a special album that you can find in my bio link that will direct you to YouTube. And I have a whole playlist to work with your specific placement of Chiron. And what I thought was very interesting is that when I was working with this energy, by the way, I have a Chiron retrograde. So when you have a retrograde, this means that you're going to have to review very much so this aspect in your life. So sometimes it can be a while before you get it. So when I was working with this, I think it was last summer actually, reviewing the best way to find healing energetically through vibration, what came through is working with the archetype on the opposite. So that means you'll see that the frequency, if you have, for example, like we have right now, some of you are experiencing some Chiron returns, okay? If you have a Chiron in Aries, that's going to be your Chiron return. And that means there's this return energy, kind of going back to school for this topic and making sure that you're going to harness the lessons. So the best way to understand the wound is to also see from the other position. And this is why when you look at the album, it works with, for example, Chiron in Aries will work with Libra. So Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. And the best way that I found was not just to add certain sound engineer that relate to the specific organs of the signs, but also to add a mantra, different mantras for gratitude. Because when you start chanting that you're thankful, that you're open to receive, say thank you for the blessings of my wounds, then you have much more awareness of what it wants to bring you, okay? So this Chiron in retrograde is starting today, as I'm channeling this. This is July 26th, and it's going to last almost till the end of the year, December 29th. Okay, so we're reviewing some of the last degrees of Aries. That's collectively, okay? And the tarot card for displacement is the Four of Wands. What do we see here? This is a celebration of union, of opposite, of different gender, feminine, masculine. And that means that there's a desire here to build security and safety within the union of feminine and masculine. And we're reviewing this topic. So how do we feel about, some of you, it could be as simple as like, how do you feel about marriage? Okay. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an exercise. Oh, you're driving good. Yeah, Chiron is my thing. Hi, Crystal. Yeah. I actually really have enjoyed the discovery from the wound, because what I've seen in my personal wound is that a lot of the accidents that I manifested, a lot of the things that wounded me through how I was thinking and feeling, was also the exact thing that led me to create the sounds that I share with you. So a lot of my sound engineering that is geared towards healing is part of me wanting to get out of my predicament, of my own wheel of repetition of the karmic Chiron, okay? So how do we feel? The exercise, I'm going to give you an exercise. I did not expect this to come through, but I have to illustrate this because some of you, that's how you remember, you know, certain insights or aha moment. I've had a lot of people that's like, oh, I remember when you told me this story and boom, this happened for me and boom, I understood it, okay? So there's an exercise that I call the burning protocol. This I have had, when I first had my spiritual and Kundalini awakening, I did this exercise for a whole year, burning some of the old programs. And what I mean by this, I would take a blank piece of paper, which I don't have here, just have a, but you want to take a blank piece of paper. And here, for example, I dare you, some of you, okay? But maybe I come from a family where people divorce at least twice. Sometimes they even remarry each other and then they divorce again. Okay, so so this topic of marriage, you know, I remember when I had to do the burning protocol for marriage. So you would write on your blank page, marriage, and then start to write all the negative perception that you have towards it, whether it's thinking thoughts or it's feeling emotions. So for me, I wrote marriage, and the first word that came, divorce. And it was like, no matter how much I kind of knew how my life was, as far as like where I came from with my family patterns, I did not think that the first thing that I associated marriage with, or just commitment, was divorce. It made me realize, I remember as a young, adult, going to someone's wedding, and when they were doing the civil wedding, I almost had a panic attack, because when I saw them like sign and whatever, I was like, they're signing their death. So the second word that came after after marriage was actually murder. Okay, and then I was like, oh, there's something here. So I saw, there was a lot of violence around me. It's not something that is laughable, but there was a lot of violence in the relationship that I was raised around me. Yes, to that level. So I started seeing how it was really affecting how I could build my own marriage. And by the way, by the time I started doing this exercise, I already had been divorced myself. Of course I would. Of course I would. So thank you. You're so real. Listen, I think this is how people can really relate. It's not about being perfect. It's about this is life. Life is not perfect. We're here to transcend some of those wounds. So I was seeing this. So I started writing all the things that were negative about marriage in my perception, in my personal experience, and I went on and on and on. Okay? Now, after you do this, after you have maybe 10, 20 words, if you want to go even deeper, thank you, you can take a dictionary online, because now nobody has a dictionary at home, and look at the synonyms of the words that you wrote. So for example, if you wrote betrayal, okay, then you can see that there might be something about lying, there might be something about cheating, there might be something about dishonesty. There might be a lot of things around the topic that you wrote that is coming on for more. And it's going to show you, that's how I started seeing how when we think one word, we relate to something with one word, how really it holds a cascade of other synonyms, of other association you might not have even suspected you were holding in your vibrational field as something true, as something that was there, okay? So when you have all your negative around marriage, okay, you really feel you're going to feel the discomfort. When you do, you burn the paper. Now, some of you, if you can't do that because you have a smoke alarm or whatever, you can also tear the paper, okay? And I like to flush it, or I like to discard it in the trash, whatever can be just really a symbol of releasing. And after you do this, you take another blank paper, you put marriage, and then you write all the things that you want to associate in the positive. And then you're going to feel how amazing this is, okay? How amazing this feels. I personally, some people like to keep the paper of the positive. I don't. I do the same process as releasing it with paper, because in that space, to me, it's a symbol of release to the universe and knowing that this is the vibration I end the healing with, okay? So that's going to be up to you how you want to use this burning protocol. I call it burning protocol because I like to use fire. I have a lot of fire in my personal chart, maybe why, okay? But if you're doing this, at the time I was not, yes, I'm going to be saving this. Yes. And same thing for the positive, you guys. If once you add positive, you will have this saved. If you have the positive words, you can also look in the dictionary and you can see how you can bring more of that positive energy, okay? Because there's been a lot of pain and distortions around union, around feeling balance between feminine and masculine, between allowing ourselves to follow our intuition or have like an intuitive discernment, not letting go of our logic, following our intuition with rational actions and inspired actions that follow through. So there's a lot here that we're reviewing as a collective, okay? How to work through those patterns that we hold and that probably you have seen in your own relationships, okay, with whether it's through your families, okay, according to your age, or even your own. What are the patterns, what are the beliefs that I hold towards marriage? Now, it might not have to be the word marriage, it could also be just commitment, okay, commitment of or union. You can use the word that resonates the most, but again, whatever word triggers you most. Okay. For me, marriage was a really big trigger. Okay. So one other thing that I was going to add is that when you're doing this ritual, you might want to play the Chiron frequency. Okay. You might want to make sure that you look into your chart, look at your personal placement, what zodiac sign you have it, and go and check out that frequency. And you can just play it in the background and starting your burning protocol, okay? And come back to me and let me know how that feels, because that usually uplifts so much, okay? So that's something that you can use not just with marriage. You can do this with money, by the way. I remember when I was teaching a lot of my burning protocols, I was talking about this almost every day online on Instagram. And people that were doing the money burn, I used to call this money burn, and I had to make sure to tell people, do not burn money bills. Don't do that. Because some people would. I don't think it's legal to do that. But also, don't do it. But people that would do the money burn would actually get money, like within 24 hours. And they were like, Audrey, I know you said it. I didn't believe it. I did it, and I like $200 extra that came from nowhere. Okay, so some of you, if you have resistance around money, I remember doing this around love. You can do this protocol around anything that you might also feel that is keeping you from feeling in union within a relationship, whether it's your own inner relationship. Because some of you, for example, if you have been in a relationship that money is an issue, that could be something you want to burn as well. Okay, you might want to address this. So that's what we're reviewing collectively until the end of the year, pretty much. Okay, now you know that I also like to meditate, and I like to use my little tuning forks for helping uplift the vibrational field that we're holding all of this in. Okay, one breathing technique that came through before I went live is called the square box breathing. Some of you, you've noticed this is an amazing breathing technique to help you look at the pattern of your feminine and masculine and make sure you're able to square. That means giving feminine and masculine the same space in through just the breathing exercise. And what you're going to do usually is just through the inhale, you inhale, and the amount of, so for example, if I inhale for 4, okay, inhale for 4, I hold for 4, okay, so 4, and then I exhale for 4, and then I stay empty for 4, and you would inhale again. So you can do 4, you can do 3, you can do 5, you can do 6, you can build it up, okay, as you start being comfortable. But what I remember, so know that when you inhale, try to focus on the back of your spine all the way up to your crown and all the way to your nose. So in that space, okay, where you have your third eye, you're going to hold this, and this is your yang line, okay? So you're inhaling, okay? You're just taking that breath, okay? And you're making sure you give space. So it's almost like you're giving that yang energy, that life force energy, some space when you're holding it. And then with the exhale, this focus on the front of your chakras all the way down to the root. This is yin energy. This is called, when you focus on the front and back and just create a loop, okay? That's called microcosmic orbit breathing. I call it cosmic breathing. Yes, this one works really well. I used to do 60. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so when you focus on this, I remember that personally, staying empty when I was exhaling with no breath used to give me panic attacks. What does that mean? It took me a while to get it because I was so anxious in that space. So this is usually when you expel at everything, that means that feminine energy, and it's like the feminine energy when it's just supposed for you to receive, just allowing, just surrendering. I didn't know it until my breath showed it to me, okay? So exactly, it shows you what you hide. So through your breath, where you can rehearse. So some of you, you might do very well, or you might want to do it all. You might want to do the burning protocol exercise. You might want to do the breathing technique with the headphones, with your Chiron frequency, okay? And you might just want to see how well do you feel in union with your yin and yang, okay? So that's something that is coming strongly. Now I just want to give some space for us before we pull a little bit of cards, okay? See if there's any other messages for everyone. I'm going to use 174 and 285. Those together help you release all the resistance that your pain body is holding, okay? 174 is amazing for like the physical pain you have. And by the way, I had many accidents. Some of you, if you don't know, I broke my hip twice. Okay, horseback riding and then taekwondoing. And then I got paralyzed from this experience, partially on the right side. So I had to learn the nervous system. I had to learn how to hold a contraction. I had to learn was I going to be able to reignite this type of neurological connection. Took me years, okay? And sound was one of my savior. Sound, it came later on that I was able to receive this information because I was so resistant of the fact that I could receive my healing. I actually was getting, so I got shocks. I was more about doing. What can I do to heal? So I was like, do. When really, if I was sitting by myself, I could have received this information in a faster, greater way. But again, okay, we're all wired to experience certain things. I learned a lot through this experience, and obviously this is serving more than me now, so I'm actually really grateful. So we're going to do a little bit of square boxing together. Okay, so we're going to do, let's do 3, okay? So we're going to inhale for 3. So just inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale 3. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And just breathe. Inhale. And exhale aloud. Inhale. Focus on the back. All the way to your nose. And exhale in the front. All right. So if you felt this can be very intense. When I do a lot of energy work, I see how much more I need to eat, especially carbs. Okay, because you burn a lot of energy. The sound of the frequencies, they activate your cells, and anything that is off alignment will actually release its water. So there's a lot that gets flushed, okay? And for you, my dear ladies, we have a tendency, because we're connected more to the moon's energy, we have a tendency to retain a lot more water. If you're still experiencing a lot of water retention, know that this is a sign of you holding on to a lot of your emotions. I used to suffer with this AF, okay? I had a lot of problems with water retention. I do not experience this anymore. Okay? All right. Okay, let's see if there's other messages. I feel thirsty. Water, everyone. Let's see if we have some other messages for everyone. By the way, if you like also to clear your energy, some of you might want to use this. I think I shared this technique in the Leo season. Some of you like to work with crystals. I have great tools that I mentioned in that reading about using either this or some of the Egyptian rods, working with either copper and zinc or shungite and soapstone, okay, to help you. This is a selenite plate. I love selenite. Okay, so let's see what we have here for people that are watching. What can we say that we need to hear about this Chiron retrograde in the last degrees of Aries that are very much about the union of feminine and masculine, okay? Unfinished symphony with the treasure island that came in reversed. So this is kind of something that I was sharing with you, as far as once you know your Chiron wound, you will start seeing the blessings of it, okay? Understanding what it is that you are doing that might be repeatedly creating this repetition, okay? This repetition, it's unfinished business. Especially here, we're talking about a retrograde. That means we're going in review. That means there's something here that wants to be revealed. Let's get some details about what it is, because I give you a lot of energy work, journaling exercises, frequency healing that can help you with this retrograde. Okay, we're covering a lot. So now, what can we expect? What is this treasure? What is this treasure? Well, first of all, the treasure comes from clearing your house. Look at this. Here we're celebrating a couple that is getting married. Now, are they going to want to enter a dirty house? This is your new home. This is going to be, you need to do a vibrational cleanup. To start with, if you want to have this whole phase, okay, because it's supported by the universe. The universe saying, okay, this is of importance right now. This is of importance for everyone collectively to know how they stand towards the energy of marriage, commitment, and union, okay? So before we can bring anything new and get the treasure, okay, and make sure that we know our patterns as far as the symphony that we're playing round and round and round, okay? We're going to want to clean and cleanse. Okay, I do feel called. Some of you, this is why I am keeping this live for everyone. You might want to, because I have another playlist that is called The 12 Organs. Yes, the treasure is inside of you, totally. But sometimes we're just full of it with some of the experience that we've had and have not yet released. Okay, so some of you, this is something that I want to share. You might want to look at my 12 organ playlist. I'm going to write all this. 12, so Chiron playlist, 12 organs, okay? Because the way your organs are in violin and the drums and the piano and the guitar that are... I'm back. Okay, so your organs are playing a symphony. And if you're holding on to certain patterns or emotions, each organ has a specific energy motion, okay? If you go and check out the playlist, it will tell you what you can allow as a higher frequency. But if you are in the distorted, we know that the liver can hold on, for example, to a lot of anger. The stomach can be holding on to certain bitterness, things you haven't digested. So that means that when your organs are playing, when your chi is flowing through you, instead of having a nice melody, you have, and you're like, and you're wondering why the vibrational manifestation and reality around you feels like that, okay? So we want to make sure that you're releasing a lot of those tension first within. So we were right here with someone that mentioned that the treasure is within. But again, can we flow with ease? And can we acknowledge, hey, that experience was painful as fuck, okay? But I'm ready to release it. I'm ready to rewrite it for something greater. So you might want to clean a little bit of your organs, okay? And some of you, it might be to the point of using support with herbal tinctures. That's something that I had to do at some point. I had a lot of kidney that I inherited from both my parents, kidney deficiency. I had even my kidney that was degenerative. Like if I had not done something, I probably had died. And herbs worked magically for me. Okay, so some of you that might be to that level, and that means that the pain and the distortion of that organ probably created that level of manifestation. So don't be harsh on yourself if that's something that you had to experience, where the organs can be failing. The organs can just need some support. So this is something that I'm seeing, okay, right now, as far as to look at the treasure of union, of being in divine union, in sacred marriage with yourself first. You want to clean up some of the old vibrational beliefs around the topic. Okay, what is it that I really feel about being in union? And your easiest exercise is to look at the relationships that you have manifested. This is actually why, this is a reality where relationships are our master teachers, okay? This is how we're learning, through others, through what we're seeing as a feedback. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that wants to be shared with us. I knew this card was going to come, okay? Exchanging gifts, but it came with the orphaned, okay? It came with the orphaned card. And that means that some of us, it's almost like maybe some of you, you're just single, okay? Or you haven't manifested even a marriage. Some of you, it's you have experienced a divorce or 2 or 3, whatever, remarried and still not happy. And it's telling you, it's showing you that you can heal this, and you're going to want to do it for yourself, not for someone else, okay? Not if you are in current relationship, not for that person to stay or not to attract someone, okay? So that's going to be something that will give you back some exchange as far as feeling this aloneness. By the way, all my condolences for your mom passing July 1st. And that might be something, my friend here, as far as the relationship to maybe the feminine that you want to review, because we often say, by the way, okay, that we marry our parents. Honestly, I shared it earlier. I got divorced, okay? I always remember towards the end of the marriage, I was telling my ex-husband, I married my mom. I can't believe I married my mom. And he was like very offended by that. Because, well, he had his reasons. But I was like, I cannot believe that the patterns that I was experiencing were the exact same one. And so some of you, again, if you're feeling this topic strongly or you're grieving the loss, I know that some of you have someone in mind also lost the father. Okay, it could be, and they also attracted a new relationship, and the way they were feeling, could be entangled. You could be entangled in those feelings between your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, and also your relationship to your parents. So that's going to be something that you can review. That could be a burn in itself. Mother. Ooh. Father. Okay. So some of you, if you're just joining, this is the end of this topic, but I'm going to post this both on Instagram and on YouTube so you can review it. On YouTube, I have the option to kind of link some of the frequencies and some of the videos that I'm suggesting, so that could be something that's interesting to you. That's all, my friends, and that's quite a lot. Okay, so marriage burn, the burning protocol. I'm probably gonna have to write a little blog about this, okay, or something, a blurb, because that's really for some of you. If you are new to breathing and meditation, that might be something that is easier because you can see it and you can separate from the emotions. The organ playlist is amazing. By the way, for some of you, if you feel very depleted in your chi, the way that I organize the playlist of the organ builds up chi. It builds up some of that prana. So you can just listen to it as you fall asleep. That is something, because I always create things that if you're brand new to meditation or sound healing, you can just sit back, do your dishes, do something else and listen to it, and it still works, okay? And I did this purposely because I could not meditate for the life of me for years, okay? It took me a whole year of listening to frequency at night so I could calm down my nervous system from the amount of traumas that I had experienced and be able to sit with myself. And some of you, if that's your case and you think like you can't meditate and you've never been able to meditate, it's because your nervous system is always in survival mode. It just feels like it's not safe. It's not safe for you to just stay still. So this is what I would suggest to you, is just listen to some of those frequencies that I mentioned. Just listen to them at night falling asleep. And you'll start to allow your nervous system to relax and feel like, okay, this is safe for me to be with myself when you're more aware. And it's safe for me to have those conversations about painful things. Because some of us, the amount of trauma and experiences that were really in the contrast, in the negative, it's hard, okay? It's really hard. Okay, I'm not going to pull any cards for someone specific today. Thank you so very much, everyone. I will see you soon. If you have any questions, you can always send me a DM, okay, or an email. Have a great day. Namaste.